I'm Marylu.
I'm Lauren.
I'm Josh.
Your hands are sweaty. Your heart is pounding. The clock seems to go faster as you will it to slow down. Time tests in school cause stress, which keep people from being able to perform their best. Most everyone has had to endure a time test in their life. I'm sure most of you have had to, and you did not enjoy it. I've had to suffer through many time tests. They stressed me out, and I couldn't focus on what I was doing. In this speech, I will talk about the history of time tests, why they are unfair, and possible problems associated with time tests. So whoever came up with the horrible idea of time tests, and why? The idea of putting time limits on group tests has been around since the beginning of the 20th century, according to Brooks, Case, and Young. Test administrators felt that in order to compare scores, certain conditions had to be the same. People had to complete the same tasks, people had to complete these tasks under the same conditions, and people had to complete these tasks under the same conditions in the same amount of time. Time tests were not designed to be unfair. As with all things, knowledge generates change. The use of time tests for children in kindergarten through grade 12 was questioned because of the inclusion of students with disabilities and the general differences in the level of abilities among students. The No Child Left Behind Act of 2001, the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, and the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990 were part of the reason that time tests were questioned. People became more concerned about fairness in testing. While time testing is obviously unfair, it causes other problems as well. There are some possible problems associated with time tests. Vanderbilt researchers Stephen Camarata and Richard Woodcock found that among preteens and teens, performance on time testing is directly related to processing speed. They also found that girls typically have an advantage over boys, and therefore an advantage on time tests. According to Maggie Blake, some parents and teachers feel that many children who are good in math, for example, are too young to perform well under the pressure of time tests. Because of this, they do not feel that they are good in math, even though they really are. In the same way, children who struggle in math feel even worse about themselves when they do poorly on a timed test. Children who have special learning needs are at an unfair disadvantage when trying to perform on timed tests. The simple fact that children know they are being timed makes them nervous and unable to perform their best. In conclusion, I strongly suggest that educators with parent support reconsider the use of time testing for kindergarten through grade 12. Time tests in school cause stress, which keep people from being able to perform their best. In this speech, I talked about the history of time tests, why they are unfair, and possible problems associated with time tests. Observing all of the negative possibilities associated with time testing, why are schools still allowing it? Students should not be restricted in the time they need to perform to the best of their ability.